Hey, how's it going? I'm Brian, and this is Targeting Pressured Whitetails. Today we're going to be looking at some trail camera setups, and we'll see some other cool things we run across while we're out there. First, I want to talk to you just real quick about the way I hunt, so that if you stick around and watch, you better understand, and maybe you won't think I'm crazier than hell for it. But I apply a lot of pressure, and that's because this is a highly pressured area. Pressure's normal. But I set the scene to apply that pressure all summer long. I make my presence a normal thing. I make it normal for them to run across my scent, for me to come out in the fields. I don't just go everywhere. I leave them sanctuary areas, but pretty much the areas that I hunt, my food plot areas, where my tree stands are, trail cameras, a couple times a week, every week, all summer, I'm out there. And I get away with that because there's so many small farms, and if I booted up a buck off my farm, he'll get booted on the next farm eventually, he'll get booted on the next farm eventually. He's not going to escape it. So I found a few things looking at it this way and how deer move, and I've been a lot more successful since I've hunted this way opposed to the way I used to hunt, the safe way, staying out of areas, limiting, checking my trail cameras. Kind of more the normal way of hunting. So I'm excited to show you guys all these tactics. I hope you stick around with me this summer and check it out. And I hope you enjoy this episode.
Huh? Is it working?
Yep.
Show me.
Alright, so setting up my new Lone Wolf undercover cam, which is pretty sweet. Hooks right up this app on my phone. And I hook it up here and the base pivots so I can look exactly where it's pointing. It's got a center mark. I don't know if you can see that.
Huh? Oh, that's crazy.
That's pretty cool. And it's on a crooked tree, so pretty convenient there. So anyways, I'm going to set it back up facing this bedding back in here, because I found a lot of good tracks coming out of there. I want to see what's using this bedding area. And, as you can see, I got this food plot back here behind me. What we just tilled up. We're going to plant some buckwheat in, try to build the soil up for this fall when we plant the food plot that we want here. But when I get that buckwheat out here and that gets established, I'll probably turn that camera around and face the food, because deer could come from other directions. But until I have the food here, I just want to see what's coming out of this bedding area, heading out towards the fields back here. So that's the idea on this camera. Oh, again, this camera here is looking back into a bedding area. I want to see what's coming out of it, heading towards these crop fields back here. And I think some of it's corn and some of it's going to be beans, so that'll be a good setup for this year. I always like being on crop breaks, moving from one crop to the next, which should be right behind my stand, which is back here behind us. The break should be right behind it. So I like the idea where this camera is. This camera here is set up right in the area where I know from the past where most of the deer coming out of this bedding area enter into this field. It's a high spot. They can see everything out there before they enter, so it makes sense that they do that here. Just out here driving around on the gator. Deer standing on the other side of the field.
Just happens to be a buck too. Is that the one Babe Ruth?
No, I don't know. You tell me. We kicked him up into this swamp, what, 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes ago, and he already got up out of the swamp and was out there eating in the field again. Give a shit less if we were out here. Alright, so right after we shut the camera off, we were filming that small buck. A bigger buck come running out of there. He's just trotting off through the fence row to the neighbor's property there. So we come over to check out the tracks. Take a look at this track. That was bigger deer, you could tell. But of course we had the camera down, so we weren't zoomed in and could see. We were a couple 100 yards away. So let's backtrack these tracks. Go and see if we can see where that buck come from. There we go. goes in right here. I ain't gonna be able to find any tracks in this, so I'm just gonna follow the trail.
Yeah, follow that trail.
Probably most likely took the easiest path. If something was in right there, they'd have perfect view at where we were. You can see where
And
that's kind of kicked over right here too.
That's where we were when we filmed the first spot. You can see as plain as day.
This grass is kind of knocked down here.
Think something got out of there in a hurry?
Come through the grass here.
He sees us, tries to get out of here in a hurry.
Some of them bigger tracks in here.
Yeah, there's a bed right there, old one. And
right here.
It's pretty fresh, ain't it?
Fresh hair in here.
Can you see this?
Perfect view.
Yeah.
To where we were in the gator.
Look at his view.
So that younger one was out
of
there.
Where we were. You can see that whole edge. That makes sense. Well, and
there's the. We weren't planning on it, but did a little scouting here. Seen a nice buck. Followed back to where he came from. And because of the pressure I put on and the normal pressure around here, we can come down in here, be around this bed, and it ain't gonna hurt a thing. That buck will come back.
Yeah. And it's a northeast wind today.
Yeah, northeast wind, which would make a lot of sense. It's coming back from over here, so he has this cattail marsh at his back with the wind blowing at him. I would assume he had his back to it. He's got good vision all out here in front of him. Makes sense that he was here.
Yeah, perfect storm. That's how they get old too.
Alright, so we come back out in the field where we picked up his tracks. And we're really too damn close to where he bed to come right here. But if I were to sneak right down the property line here on my access, thick enough in between me and that deer at about, what, 75 yards, 80 yards maybe. If I move real slow and quiet, I could probably get down through there and set up in any of these bigger trees. That one here, maybe that one there. Catch them angling out of here towards crop fields in the evening.
Mm-hmm. Coming off that corridor that you can mow.
And with that northeast wind, that'd be perfect. This wind would be blowing this way, so my access would be good for wind. And I'd be set up with my wind blowing that way. And he's going to approach from this way.
Yep.
That's probably how we'd set up on that.
Lots of trees to choose from too.
Come in with a Lone Wolf custom gear, get set up real nice and easy.
Nice and quiet. Coyote.
No, it's not foot or paw on the paw.
Dog, huh?
Gotta be domestic.
What's that by your foot?
That's that big ass deer track. So right here, heading into that same bedding area from the opposite direction, is another big set of tracks. And, it looks real soft here, but this clay and it's actually pretty hard.
Yeah, because look at you, didn't even leave a mark.
That's a recent track too. And that's all freshly sitting on top of everything. So there hasn't even been any rain since that.
Hey, you can follow it. They're so heavy you can follow it right to where that deer came out.
So, looks like we ought to set up some trail cameras in this area and know what we're looking at here. Yeah. All the way at the back all of
I got him.
them are two nice bucks. There's 3 bucks there. 2 of them are real nice.
Hey.
Hey. Gotta remember next time, just pull my fucking driveway.
Hey. Damn it. We gotta stop that. Tell him what you told me this week.
There's a bunch more. Gotta keep going.
Tell him what you told me.
Quiet.
Stop talking to me like that.
I said that we gotta pull in my driveway instead of stopping right in the damn road and scaring the deer away, and I forgot. Drove right by the driveway.
Hey, write it down your hand, bro.
Next time. Next time.
Damn it.
So that was that same buck we kicked out of its bed. That was 5 days ago. Later that day, I seen that same buck in that front field, 100 yards from that bed. And again, 5 days later, we seen that buck in that same front field. And we checked again today and back when we kicked him up. And when I seen him later that day, it was northeast wind. So, writing all that down right here. And it's important information. Always got to be looking. Whoa, got a tractor.
Always got to be looking is exactly what you said.
Just told you, I wasn't lying.
Listen.
Anyways, so that's all good information, all things you should be paying attention to. Not just seeing deer and thinking it's cool, seeing deer and paying attention to what's going on and maybe why they're there.
Northeast wind, you seen him 2 different days. You bumped him once, he came back, you see him again, and then you see him again, same wind.
Bumped him out of there that day, seen him hours later that evening, because it's high pressure and I'm always out there, and that's normal. My scent's normal, and I gotta get the hell out of the way.
But, I mean...
So we got beans going in next door to the 40.
Yep.
Right there.
And corn on both sides of it. Beans next door.
So let's talk about some key factors to this episode. First, the trail cameras. They're in travel routes in between bedding and food. The first camera, the Lone Wolf Undercover Cam, that worked perfect there because that was a crooked tree. Any other cam wouldn't have worked out there, but because they have that pivoting base, I could point that camera wherever I wanted, and that worked out great. The second camera is in an area that I don't go. I don't frequent that area, and I don't leave my scent, and my presence isn't a normal thing there. So I put a cell camera there, because I will go there if something tells me I need to be there. But for the most part, I'm going to stay out of there. But that bedding area is a good one, and from things I know from last year, there might be a couple good bucks up in that area this year. Another key factor is when we kicked up that buck, we just didn't look at him from across the field and think it was a cool thing that we seen a nice buck. We went right over there, followed his tracks back to his bed, seen what he could see, made a mental note of what the wind was. All that stuff's important, key information if the buck I decide to chase is going to frequent that area. And another key factor would be my screw up we all got to learn from. I was kind of in a hurry, not expecting to see them deer there. I was going to move on up the hill further and glass back into some fields back further. But I seen the bucks I was hoping to see, slammed on my brakes right in the road, and they ran away. Where I could have just continued on further, pulled in my driveway, and that'd have been a normal thing for them, and they probably wouldn't have ran off. So, you can also learn from my mistakes. Thanks for watching, and I hope you tune in the future.